Newbies, y'all not in the wrong place. The lifers will let you know you are at the Life Be Lifing podcast. Yes, 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 yes. You are hosted by none other than your favorite coach, your favorite fat freckle man, the big dog himself. Who? Coach is in the building with y'all tonight doing a solo dolo episode. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, chill. Relax. All right. Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you. You're far too kind. Um, but again, this is the Life Be Life in podcast. Uh, thank you for joining me, folks, for episode 101. Man, though it was unintended, I got to have two great versions of episode 100. One where I did live at a venue, and the one that I had last week with, what I'm saying, the Life Be Life and All Stars, Big Mish, Keish with the K, and A.C.E, who came on and joined to make a great episode. Fun as hell. Great contributions for all of them guys, for everybody. And the chat, y'all was going off too, man. The chat was jumping as usual. So now I'm at this point where I'm checking the YouTube to make sure that the feed is going. And let's make sure that our friends on Facebook see it because when it comes to my notifications, they be doing a brother foul. They be doing a brother foul. Um, but again, thank y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Um, how's y'all week going? What y'all been up to? Matter of fact, before I even get into anything else, because it is literally a week away. Well, not literally, like it's Thursday, but next week is Thanksgiving. Shout out to Thanksgiving. But most importantly, next week is Podcast Links Phillies live, our fourth live that we're doing. And it is us taking it to the next level. All right. Yeah. Hey, hey, Tommy. Thanks for joining. Um, I didn't ignore your text, by the way. I just was still trying to figure some things out, so I didn't have the answer. But that's, we'll talk about that off the air. But I appreciate you joining. Um, shout out to Tommy. She gets an applause too for joining. You know what I'm saying? That's the homie. She was active in the chat last week too. But and Tommy and Big Mish, I will be seeing them both next Saturday, and hopefully you as well next Saturday for Podcast Link Phillies event, the next level. It is an interactive adult game night and a celebration of the things that the different members have done individually, such as my reaching episode 100. Another applause for that. Come on. Yeah. And for what we have accomplished as a group, being able to get these live shows done, the collabs that we've done, and all those kind of things. So it's going to be an all black affair, but it's going to be fun. It is BYOB. So whatever you like to sip on, go ahead, bring that. Come enjoy yourselves. Come enjoy yourselves with us. Mix, mingle, come be part of the show. We got skits on deck. We got scenarios on deck. We got all types of fun things planned, And if you're at the show, you get an opportunity to be in the show. We're not trying to hear that shy stuff. Man, come on. Y'all part of the group at this point. You know what I'm saying? We one big family. Y'all part of the village. So come get involved. All right. The tickets are $30. Check the link in everybody's bio, whether it was Mr. Know It All, Hank, uh Taya, you know what I'm saying? Dana, Star, Sonny, and of course, your favorite coach's favorite coach. Check the link in our bios. I just made sure to update it today. Make sure it was updated today in my link tree. So get the tickets. It's $30. Come enjoy yourself, man. Make sure you got all black. We finna take things to the next level. All right. Again, let me double check. And while I make sure that Facebook can see that we're going. I ain't gonna lie, they did used to be convenient, the fact that it used to run on Facebook, but things change and we gotta change with it, of course. Um, so we can't continue to mourn the past. We gotta go forward to the future. Speaking of the future, also, next week I have an episode planned. I'm not going to drop the full promo for it yet, but next week's guest is already locked in. And it won't be on Thanksgiving. It'll actually be on Friday. That Friday, Black Friday, we will be back here, 8 o'clock, live on YouTube with the special guest we have. I'm gonna wait till the promo drops, so I ain't gonna announce it just yet. But we already got these guests locked in, and I'm talking about guests for the very first time on the Life Be Life and Pod. So definitely make sure to tap in with us for that. Um, so what can we talk about in the meantime between time while some lifers continue to join in? First and foremost, shout out. I'll be honest, I didn't look into all the details, but shout out to that mom, out in Chicago, who was unfortunately attacked with her children, by these kids. Uh, we gotta do the best job we can as parents, man. Because let me tell you something. Not everything a kid does wrong is because of their parents. Because sometimes some kids just end up being super rebellious despite having great parents. Like that's the truth, right? But that's more few and far between. Usually, there's somewhere along the line where if your kid does some really bad stuff, as a parent, you kind of went wrong. There was something you didn't teach them, something you didn't show them, something you didn't properly instill in them. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. My oldest is 18, and I'm sure he's done some dumb things in his life. He has broken rules, he has disobeyed, but he would never participate in bullying, and he would never, and I do mean never, go to punch down on people. Let me tell you, he's not a fan of bullies. He's not a fan of bullies. So he would not join in people on picking on somebody defenseless or punching down on somebody, even, literally, metaphorically, that's not his twist. So um, that's what I'm saying. As parents, you drop the ball. Even seeing some of the parents' responses, um, some of the parents of the kids. You got the one mom who, was laid down on her bed, laid on her belly, and got the kid in the background talking about some, Chicago looking for you, right? Because you was wrong. Man, they looking for you too. They looking for you too. Because let me tell you, one thing for sure, two things for certain. Y'all had jumped my family. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not stopping with the kids. Oh no, no, no. My vengeance would not stop with the kids. No, no, no. I need the parents. The parents got to pay me their pound of flesh. Yes, indeed. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even finna lie to you. Nope. Nope. Y'all catching it, and y'all got to catch it worse because it's only but so much I can actually do to a kid. They're little kids. No matter how mad I am, but the parents. Oh, I could. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could unleash on them. So yeah, nah. You talking about something they looking for you because you was wrong. Nah, man, that wasn't even the tone or energy of an embarrassed adult. Because listen, a lot of us got them parents that was like, listen, Where you embarrass me at is where I handle you at. And if and if I'm embarrassed, because I found out you did something that shamed our name or made me look like a bad parent, oh, I'm going off. So yeah, nah, she was too cool. That's how I could tell. She want everybody to think she a better parent than what she is. But nah, lady, you ain't convincing nobody who had a parent that was about that life, who had a real parent. You ain't convincing nobody, lady. Uh-uh. It's because you sit there and you trying to get the likes and you trying to get the like. That type of person, that's why your kid is a follower in the sense that he went to go do some stuff he ain't had no business doing. He couldn't stand tall and separate himself from that. It's your fault, man. The other lady who had the little girl apologizing with her crocodile tears, she was about to smile half the time. You talking about one thing we got to keep in mind is that these are children. You know, listen, I get it. Children get a certain amount of bail. What they say, God protects babies and fools. And in these cases, these babies were some fools. But, but one thing we gotta, the same way you want to brag about how intelligent your kid is when they do something that you feel like is out of the ordinary, you gotta hold them accountable for when they do things that's wrong. Um, and no, it's not to the extent of them truly understanding the consequences and the repercussions that could have came out of attacking that woman. I'm not being, preposterous and expecting kids to really grasp that. But the simple concept of right and wrong, kids understand that. I don't care what nobody say. Kids understand that. You know how you know kids understand that? Kids understand that when you give them that look, when they did something they had no business doing, and you give them that look, and they like, oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Me, shout out to Big Meesh in the building. Shout out to Big Meesh in the building. What to do? What we got in the chat? Whole house going up. You hear me? You hear me? Like I said, ain't finna stop them kids. Cause my mom would have had me at their door, foot to tail. Absolutely. Absolutely. My mom is a God-fearing woman. My mom is a church-going woman. But telling you, I'm telling you. Well, first of all, you wasn't just finna jump my mama and her two boys. Now, y'all was gonna go home with some scratches, some bites, some busted lips, some something. We might have lost because if it was more y'all than us, we might have lost. But y'all that went home looking like y'all. Some of y'all would have went home looking like y'all lost too. I tell you that, and that wouldn't have been the end of it. That wouldn't have been the end of it. Y'all have been lucky if my mama would have just pressed charges. More than likely, my mama ain't finna just press charges. She getting on the horn. I said this to my friend earlier. People think that because you see people alone or you see them in small numbers that they ain't got nobody. Everybody think they big and they bad and they tough because they roll with these big deep groups and everybody at the house is your whole family take up the whole block, so you think you like that. Just because people don't live in that particular situation don't mean that they ain't got people finna slide for them. All right. All it takes for some of these people is one call, and it's somebody who get on a plane to come wreck some shop. Train, okay, planes, trains, automobiles. Somebody will mess around and act like homeboy at the fade in the water, swim across the water, okay? Hop out the water like Aquaman with them hands. And you're lucky if it's just hands. Because some people don't really play about their folk now. Some people really out here not playing about their folk. Yeah, hey, parents, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. And I know it's parents that's gonna be like, it could never be my kid. It could never be my kid. It could never be my kid. And for those who telling the truth, in fact, let me go ahead, hit the clap button for y'all, because I applaud that. Because I tell you one thing for sure, two things for certain. It could never be neither one of my kids. But, but Some of y'all not honest. Some of y'all, not only could it be your kid, it's going to be your kid because you have not done what you needed to do to show your kid how to be set apart from the group, how to walk away, even if it's their friends, even if it's their cousins, even if it's their siblings, to know, listen, I'm gonna do the right thing, even if that means doing it by myself. I've said I'm people. Listen, okay? I am people like I am everyday people. You can't do nothing to none of my relatives and think that you ain't finna see me. Well, not none of my relatives, but you can't do nothing to my beloved family members and think you're not finna see me. You just can't. You just can't. You just can't. And if you harming, especially you harming kids, man, come on now. Come on now. Word is the woman was pregnant at that. Now I don't know if that's true. I'm gonna say allegedly. Like I said, word is. Um, but even if she wasn't, you attacked that woman with her two kids. You know, the little girl who couldn't even get in the mix. And you got the boy, poor boy, man. I seen the I said I wasn't gonna watch it, and I watched it. And the boy was crying just because y'all was teasing him and calling his mama names. Then y'all started hitting on him. She said she was, I heard her recounting of it. She said she was on the ground and, she's sitting there balled up. She couldn't even see. She could just hear her son saying, Mommy, help me, Mommy, help me. And it's like, honestly, honestly, just hearing that like had me incensed because to be a parent and to hear somebody harming your child and you can't do nothing about it, like I said, them kids and them parents lucky that she's just pressing charges. That the dad is going along with just pressing charges. Because let me tell you, I'm gonna press a lot more than charges. I would press a lot more than charges. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So it is it is history month. It is men's mental health month this month in November. Due to worrying about episode 100s and due to getting ready for the show, although I initially had planned that I would have a bunch of guys on and do a bunch of episodes, kind of like my man Mr. Know It All has done this month. Shout out to him. It didn't quite work out that way. And I almost had a different guest for tonight, but I said I'm gonna go solo dolo because uh I'm gonna give y'all some vulnerability tonight. I'm gonna give y'all some honesty tonight because we talking about men's mental health, and if y'all are cool with it, I'm gonna talk to y'all about mine and share where my mental state is. So, if you notice the name of the episode, it's "I'm Not Okay." I'm not good, but that's okay. Um, that's true. Like if you walk to me, hey man, you good? No, no, I'm not. I'm not. Like right now, I'm not good. Um, and there's a couple of different reasons as to why. So it's been, like life, because life be life. Um, so it's gonna be some highs and lows, some peaks and valleys. Um, I think the valleys that's hitting me personally with my family is kind of with my sons particularly. As a dad, it's not just frustrating. It kind of make me feel like, damn, I'm doing something wrong, and none will make me lose sleep, like feeling like I'm not doing right by my boys. I'm not being a good enough dad. Um, anything to that effect. Uh, so let's start with the highs, right? Not too long ago, my oldest had senior night to end his soccer season. He's a senior, so senior night. This is last time getting to play at home, if I'm not mistaken. No, 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 no. He did have another home game after that, but they were actually playing for the regional championship, the Del Valle Championship. Um, and he has not got a lot of playing time over the years. Um, while I could easily go ahead and diss his coach, who I'm not a fan of, I don't care who says it. I don't care who runs it back to him. Clip it. Let him see it. I'm not a fan of his coach. I think he's sorry as a coach. I think that he does not create culture, winning culture, team culture. Um, I think that he does not see far enough down the line to coach the way that coaches need to coach. Like, if you're coaching at high school, even if you're coaching at the rec level, you know kids are gonna age out at some point, right? So you have to have in mind what you're establishing at this point so that it carries on after certain kids leave, whether they're the oldest kids or the best kids, or the best kids leave because they're, older and aging out. He don't think about none of that, man. They didn't even have, like, how you go to sports games and you see the Gatorade container. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even have that for the kids. It was issues with listen, I ain't gonna spend a whole joint just dissing him. Even though I have a ton of them. I'm not the biggest fan of his. But some of that landed on my son too. And one of these days I'm gonna get him on an episode and I'm gonna hold him accountable in front of everybody. But some of that landed on him too. He didn't work hard enough. He didn't believe in himself when he had the opportunities to get on the field to play and just play and make the most of it. He didn't work hard enough on his own. At practice, I'm 100% sure he gave it his all. Even the practices I didn't see, I'm 100% sure he gave it his all. But he also took a couple of practices off. So things like that, when you're not a lock as a starter, or a bona fide rotation player, you can't afford to miss practices. You can't afford to not be working on your skills by yourself. So a lot of that falls on him, and he knows it. And he was worried that it would all come to haunt him on senior night, and that he would get maybe a couple of minutes. He wouldn't really get to play. Um, some of these coaches need coaching. All coaches need coaching, Meech. All coaches need coaching. That's why I went to coaching seminars. You know what I'm saying? I went to coaching seminars. I went to uh when I first became a head coach in basketball. I went to I'm about to say Larry Brown's. Good Lord. Um, Not Larry Brown. Oh man, why can't I remember my man's name? Uh the Sixers coach who was there for the process. Oh my gosh. I feel so bad. Brent Brown. There we go. I went for Brett Brown's um coaching clinics 2 years in a row, because you'll never know everything about everything. Somebody will always be able to show you something. You know what I'm saying? And rules change all the time. And since he coaches at the highest level of basketball, but also he coached at, youth sports and has kids in youth sports, of course I'm gonna go learn from him. You know what I'm saying? Um, Sometimes that lack of drive and determination is due to morale or lack thereof. 100%. And that's why I said that it falls on his coach. Some of that falls on his coach, some of that falls on him. So yeah, no. I absolutely agree with that. Um, but nonetheless, senior night came. His coach played him the pretty much the entire game. I think he got out in the very last minute, and by then he was exhausted. He scored his first goal of his career as a high school athlete. Um, and it was lit. It was lit. It was a great time. Um, I was very proud of him. I was happy for him. I got a little emotional. It was good. It was good. It was good. Um, the little one, his soccer season ended. Uh, they got cheated. Not in the game that they lost, but they shouldn't even had to play that game. They should have been in the championship. Now I don't know if we would have won the championship game. Let me keep it 1,000 with you, because we had to play back-to-back games, and them kids was really worn out in that the second part of the back-to-back. Um, and then it's hard, right, for kids to get so tired. You let them sit down for because you got to wait for the next game, so that's like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then they got to get back up, get their energy back up, get their focus. It's asking a lot out of 8 year olds, man, unless they just like locked in soccer players like that, which my little one is not. Um, but I was so proud of the way he played for the day, and he had a really great first half. In the first game where our actually our goalie got injured in practice that morning, and he stepped in. The moment wasn't too big for him. He had like 4 or 5 saves right out the gate, complete shutout in the first half. Didn't let the other team score at all. Um, he was doing good in school, getting these things like you know how in school when you do wrong you get demerits. Well, they kind of have a reward system where they'll give you these notes that you could kind of turn in, like, hey, I've been doing good, I've been doing good. So you could turn it in for a prize for your class or a prize for yourself. So he was stacking these drawings up at one point. So let's get to the lows. While he's Mr. Stacking Up Night Notes, he keeps losing important things, whether it's the charger to his school laptop, whether it's a shirt he left house with. Today it's a coat that his grandmother just bought him. Um, and come to find out, he just was not doing his writing assignments in class. Like just flat out refusing to. Even so much as when she asked him to write, he wouldn't come to the board and write. So, we're trying to figure out if it's some kind of development issue, if he's scared to write, if he got embarrassed, whatever it is. But he just don't feel like doing it. He's just lazy. He just don't want to do it. He'd rather not. That's just really what it comes down to. He'd rather not because it takes effort and he don't want to put in the effort. That's it. But to have to get that call from a teacher, around a report card period, and she's explaining that, and it's like, this is a kid who's been on honor roll since he's been in kindergarten. You're in third grade, man. What are we doing here? So you got that. We got my oldest son who we took on a couple of his college trips. He had fun. He enjoyed both campuses. So he's got some, options with decisions he's making. And yet, you know, he's not filling out scholarship paperwork. Um, and these things are not the end of the world, just to be clear. These things are not the end of the world. There's people who have far worse problems with their kids. My problem is both of them are not seeing the need to do what pours back into them. And it matters because it's going to show itself in other ways. If you're not willing to do the effort to, as a third grader, you're not willing to put in the effort to just write out the answers, it's not going to stop there. After a while, you're going to stop verbally participating. You're going to start having less value in your grades, and then we're going to have another problem. If you're this high school student who has dreams of going away to college, but you don't want to fill out scholarship paperwork, grant paperwork, it's not going to stop there. You're going to be a person who also doesn't really want to do work when it comes to school. You're not going to find the motivation. And as somebody who bombed his very first semester, like complete fumble his very first semester in college, and somebody who's, looking at student debt, man, nah, that ain't what I want for my oldest. So, um, but those not the big things. So like, I'll kind of get towards the big things. Pause. Those aren't the major issues. So I'm kind of just trying to, walk through again some highs and some lows, right? Um, so major highs for me, like I said, are both versions of episode 100. Um, Shout out to Taya because Taya talked me out of just doing a virtual game night for episode 100, which is just what I was going to do from the beginning. She said, no, you've done, you're accomplishing something. It's really important. You deserve to be celebrated. You should be in front of people. You should be loved on. You should have people enjoy the moment with you, so forth, so on. And also through, through her deciding to do a particular venture, it afforded me the opportunity to do the show, do episode 100 live at the venue where she has a function at. Um, so it was cool. The show went well. Um, the attendance actually ended up being perfect. The participation was great. The only issue is when I was running the live feed on YouTube. Um, Me being a rookie and doing this for the first time, didn't realize what needed to be hooked up. So the sound didn't go through completely, and I had to end up taking the episode off of YouTube because what good is people going to watch the episode and then it's like every word is cutting out, every other word is cutting out. So then I'm like, but I got to feed the folks and I got to celebrate with the folks, even though they couldn't be there. So me and Mish talked and she suggested the idea of, kind of doing a episode like how we used to do our finales, where we kind of do a retrospective, highlights type thing. And that's not the way the episode went, but that's fine because last week's episode was fun. It was fire, it was everything. And it really felt like I got to do the live episode, the one that I did in person. It felt like I got a redo with the lifers at home. So I can't really ask for more than that, honestly. For the video feed to go wrong, I can't really ask for more than that. So those is real, 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 real highs for me. Um, what else? Um, yeah, those are the major two, and they're just really high for me. Like, it's a really big deal. Um, Now for the lows, without me telling you exactly where I work, I've probably mentioned before that at my place of employment 4 years ago, October 1st, there was a shooting. A disgruntled customer who apparently had designs on doing this very same thing where he was going to come in and cause havoc and do harm. He been had this plan. He wasn't taken seriously, and lo and behold, since nothing was done, after all them years, lo and behold, homeboy made good on it. And I'm talking about Lowe's. And my light goes, no, no, no worries, no worries. That's just my main source. I got a backup plan because if anything, episode 100 told me is to have a backup plan. And if you can, have a backup plan to the backup plan. Life be lifing, but if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Um, but that's interesting that that would happen just now, mid episode, because this wasn't the low I was gonna mention, but I was trying to set up and I'll let y'all in a little secret. Sometimes I use two laptops because I kind of use the one that I'm using for the app, and then I kind of use one to do some of the odds and ends while I'm talking to y'all, as far as distributing the episode, checking, making sure that on YouTube is flowing the way it's supposed to be flowing. Well, the laptop fell, and while the laptop is in one piece and the keys are where they're supposed to be, the power cord is damaged. It got bent. See if I got it right here. Y'all see it? Can y'all see it? Yeah, see that? Yeah, that just happened tonight. uh Life be life and though. Um But yeah, so we had as a result of this, right? Um that person came in, and a young colleague slash friend that I had made there who was working security by the name of Nasir Day did his job. He saw the guy come in, the guy had a bag, he wasn't signed, he didn't have an appointment. Um he was gonna go up the elevator to go do what he was gonna do. He had a bunch of homemade weapons, um, you know, m- caulk guns that he used as, high powered rifles. I mean, you're only gonna get one shot off, but it's efficient. Apparently, they said that he had a vehicle with explosives in it. I'm not sure how true that is, but he had things to do some damage. Um, and Nas wouldn't let him go up the elevator, and because Nas stopped him and wouldn't let him go up the elevator, uh, Nas, who was gonna have his first baby, um, with his girl that day, I mean that year, and was waiting until October, no, waiting until Thanksgiving to announce to his mom that she was gonna be a grandma. Um, Never got to have that moment. Never got to see his daughter be born. None of that, because the very caulk gun that I mentioned was used on him, and right to the head. So, on top of that, there was a lot of disorganization in the exit plan that we were supposed to have. So, unfortunately, for quite a few of us, when being ushered out by police, we walked past his body. So, of course, I'm upset. I'm sad. I'm feeling away. All types of stuff. Um, but it didn't hit me until, and this is, still during, peak COVID type time, right? This was 2021 when it happened. So the office was, relatively empty. Not everybody was back in the office yet. 2022 is when the offices started getting filled. And all the people who couldn't come in finally came in. All the customers was coming in, and there was a lot of, I guess excuse me, uh, because they weren't able to come in before. There was a lot of hostile energy about, this not being the way it's supposed to be, that not being the way it's supposed to be. There was a lot of, hostility. There was threats made. There was threats made. There was threats made. There was people who came in armed before. I done left a couple of times because, I just even heard threats, and all of it um ended in me being diagnosed with PTSD, because what ends up happening, I'm gonna say 2020 to 2023, like what ends up happening is now whenever customers come in and they get loud, I'm up on my feet, like I was ready, like I was on like the attack dog, not like foaming at the mouth, but I was ready to go, like I wanted smoke. um because I just felt like if I can't be safe, I'm gonna be dangerous. Um, as they say, sometimes the best defense is a good offense. So I was ready to go. Um, and I really hate that building. I remember you even mentioning on here that one of the pluses was that due to some contracts and leases and whatever type situations, I'd be getting moved into a different building. I I promise you, I never wanted to go back there. Like, because how do you go back? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard to go back to a building where, a friend of yours not only died, but like you saw their body. Um, you saw where that you walk past there every day to get into, your office. Um, so I was so glad to be out of there. Now I'm located in a different office, but now it seems like particularly right about now, it's the same problems. And it's the lack of protection, it's the lack of concern, it's the lack of communication. Uh, Now I will say, on the plus side though, I'm dealing with my PTSD very well, very well. I haven't had a crying fit yet. I haven't got up to go punch nobody yet. I haven't eyed nobody. Like, yeah, if it goes down, you can be like, honestly, I have not. Uh, I'm managing it pretty well. Like, even when I'm discussing the fact that it's being poorly handled with people, like, my chest isn't tight. I'm not hot. It's just um because and this is why I always advocate for therapy. And shout out to Adam and AB who was on a couple of weeks. And even though we were talking about relationship therapy, what he said about therapy that's a big misconception is that people see therapy as a wand, like a magic wand, like it's gonna fix your problems. And therapy didn't fix my problems. Therapy was like my life is a puzzle and I can't figure out what's wrong because I think all the pieces are there. It feels like the pieces aren't there, but I'm not seeing the pieces that are missing. And what therapy did for me was help me see which pieces were missing. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna continue to advocate for therapy because yeah, help me see some missing puzzle pieces, such as, suffering from PTSD and how to navigate that. Like when you feel like people always talk about being healed and I did the work and I'm healed and so forth and so on. And it's like, how healed are you if the minute the situation arises again, like you're back there and then it's just like, oh well, I'm triggered, I'm triggered, I'm triggered. And it's like things are gonna trigger you. It's about how you can respond when you're triggered. Yeah, that this same lack of care for our safety triggers me. Of course it does. But I ain't slammed my hand on the desk yet. I haven't walked around the building looking for, somebody who just looked like they on some type time. Like I did that before. Like not like I was like, inviting trouble, but I really was like distrustful. Uh Maybe a little bit borderline paranoid, in retrospect. So I'm kind of like looking to see who coming in on that type of energy. Like there was some dude who was talking reckless. I remember I was coming in from lunch and some dude was talking reckless about how like, hey, if he don't, if this don't go well, then he's gonna do XYZ. And I followed him behind him like, I mean, if he took 3 steps, I took two. Because I was like, I was supposed to have been back at my desk, but I'm just kind of like, let's see his energy. Because the minute he get loud with somebody, I'm not going to hesitate. I'm coming, throw him right in the sleeper, throw him right in the sleeper. Like I was literally like steps behind him. I remember one time they got loud with my man's. I jumped out my seat so fast because my man, he was going back and forth with him. Um, and I got out my seat so fast. Cause like that's the homie like sandbox, you heard? Like we go back that far. Like elementary school. He used to walk me half the way home. Okay, so like sandbox. But I'm like, if y'all even think y'all finna jump him, tuh, tuh. Okay, okay. So the fact that I'm not, like I said, like I'm not feeling no experiencing no feelings of paranoia. Yes, it is a long road. It's absolutely a long road. And that's what I'm saying. Like everybody look at therapy like it's supposed to make you microwave healed and you already gonna be good. And no, man, that's not how it go. It's not how it go. So shout out to Dr. Marsha Bellamy, and the way she's helped me um contextualize my life experiences and see the pieces of the puzzle, kind of figure out the pieces of puzzle I've been missing. And like I said, I heavily advocate for therapy. Um, and there's some other things that I did say I was going to be vulnerable, but part of it is not my business. And while it does affect me, I'm going to respect for now, for now, because it hasn't impacted me too much. I'm going to respect the parties that are involved and not get to that particular story yet. What actually I'm going to do is I'm gonna I know I normally was doing question of the night, but I kind of wanna, if I can, share some particular clips with y'all um that I want, I don't see any brothers in the chat right now, but hopefully, what I'm saying, y'all see this when y'all watch this episode and it speaks to y'all because again, this is Mental Health Month. Um, I think I actually missed Men's Day. I think National Men's Day already occurred and I might have missed it. This shirt is on backwards, but it says self care is not selfish. Okay. Um, it's been a great Friday. I love this shirt. I need to find me another one. See if I can find it maybe in different colors. Uh, as Ty always say, self care is Bay. And my slow behind didn't know Bay stood for before anyone else. And yes, self care is before anything else. And that's kind of why I want to show these clips to y'all right quick. So, um, allow me to share my screen. And let's see. I guess I gotta unmute it, right?
Because we'll put that mask on because to be vulnerable in front of you, we feel like that's too much weight for you. So we'll suffer in silence. Yes. And he'll go sit in his car and roll a blunt just so he can ease his mind. Because he's feeling like the moment I walk in his house, I gotta put on a face. Yes. And nobody's asking him how he's feeling. Yes. Yes. Not how he's doing. Because to me and to us, it's associated with performing. But when you ask him how he's feeling, he's got to take a pause. And he's got to check. And let me tell you something, brother, your emotions matter. Yeah. Your feelings matter. You have a right to stop and process. Stop running with your battery on low. Stop pouring into people who don't pour back into you. You're more than just providing. You're more than just paying bills. Yes, there's purpose in you. But what I'm telling you today, drop your sword. Drop your shield. Let me tell you something, ladies. It don't even look like we're going through. Because we'll put that mask on because to be vulnerable in front of you, we feel like that's too much weight for you. So we'll suffer in silence. Yes. And he'll go sit in his car and roll a blunt just so he can ease his mind. Because he's feeling like the moment I walk in his house, I gotta put on a face. Yes. And nobody's asking him how he's feeling. Yes. Yes. Not how he's doing. Because to me and to us, it's associated with performing. But when you ask him how he's feeling, he's got to take a pause. And he's got to check. And let me tell you something, brother, your emotions matter. Yeah. Your feelings matter. You have a right to stop and process. Stop running with your battery on low. Stop pouring into people who don't pour back into you. You're more than just providing. You're more than just paying bills. Yes. There's purpose in you. But what I'm telling you today, drop your sword. Drop your shield. Let me tell you something, ladies. It don't.
All right. All right. Brothers, you're more than just paying bills. And this kind of goes hand in hand.
Think you said that these chicks want you to provide, protect, and die.
That's what
And
I'm
that's
saying.
not fair. Why?
Man, that's the great female con. They
Yeah.
call you a real man when everything you do is to serve and for them. And they call you a sassy or not a real man when
Yeah, of
you're
course.
doing things for yourself. Society TV has made a man prideful in his own enslavement. They want you to get up, go to work all day, work 40 hours, come home, take care of the kids, take care of the wife, don't drink, don't smoke, don't cheat, cater to your woman, take care of your family, and then one day you wake up and then you die. That's so-called being a man. And a lot of dudes have adopted that ideology. And I wonder, like, where did that come from? You're supposed to do everything for everyone but yourself and put yourself last. Fuck that. I say put yourself first. How can I be any good to anybody if I'm putting everybody else before me? My cup got to overflow it so I can give well. Yeah. So I got to take care of myself first. I got to put that oxygen mask in the plane on myself before I help everybody else. And that's what a lot of dudes out here is doing. They living quiet lives of desperation because they putting everybody else first and they hate their life and then they hate their wife and they really don't like their situation and then they end up doing a whole bunch of shit. You should take care of yourself first because when you are who you supposed to be, then you can get it from strength.
Think you said that these chicks want you to provide, protect, and die.
That's what
and
I'm
that's
saying.
not fair. Why?
Man, that's the great female con. They call you a real man when everything you do is to serve and for them. And they call you a sassy or not a real man when you're doing things for yourself. Society TV has made a man prideful in his own enslavement. They want you to get up, go to work all day, work 40 hours, come home, take care of the kids, take care of the wife, don't drink, don't smoke, don't cheat, cater to your woman, take care of your family, and then one day you wake up and then you die. That's so-called being a man. And a lot of dudes have adopted that ideology. And I wonder, like, where did that come from? You're supposed to do everything for everyone but yourself and put yourself last. Fuck that. I say put yourself first. How can I be any good to anybody if I'm putting everybody else before me? My cup got to overflow it so I can give well. So I got to take care of myself first. I got to put that oxygen mask in the plane on myself before I help everybody else. And that's what a lot of dudes out here is doing. They living quiet lives of desperation because they putting everybody else first and they hate their life and then they hate their wife and they really don't like their situation and then they end up doing a whole bunch of shit. You should take care of yourself first because when you are who you supposed to be, then you can get it from strength.
Think you said that these chicks.
Where is my? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, yo, we having some technical difficulties. Why? Okay. All right. So, were we not starting down this road last week? Yes, we were, Mish. Yes, we absolutely were. Um, and that's kind of why I wanted to make sure to mention it this week specifically and directly. That's real. So many men aren't told they're more than brute strength and can lean into what they're feeling to get over the hump. So that's why I wanted to take the moment today, this week, so that when fellas see this, they can see that you're not gonna always be okay, man. And that it's okay to prioritize yourself. Now I do a piss poor job of it, honestly. I can't even lie to you. I do a piss poor job of prioritizing myself because I too, like several men, have been conditioned to put everybody's happiness before mine. Um, to the point where I don't consider my happiness soon enough. And by the time I start considering my own happiness, it's because I've gone without it for so long that I'm in a place of resentment, right? As I should have and all month long. That would have made sense, right? That would have made sense, Mish. Um, but alas, I'm not going to front like I did. And I know other fellas don't too. So again, this is, for them to see, let's hold each other accountable, and I'm gonna hold myself accountable on that. And that as much as I advocate for fellas to take care of themselves, to not pour out of an empty cup. There's days I've done it. There's months I've done it. There's times this month I've done it. Shit, I just did it yesterday, and I'm so fucking burnt out. Um, I did it yesterday. Like when I say my cup was empty and I still tried to pour out of it, it affected me in work today. Uh, Headache, could barely keep my eyes open. I slept terribly. Uh, the brother said to put down your sword, right? Because, and that's something that's so hard for us men to even conceive, to put down your sword, because we're just trained to be fighters. Like, we're supposed to fight, we're supposed to protect. And how on earth can you protect with just, like, we don't feel accurate protecting with just a shield, because that means you have to play defense all the time. And like I said earlier, sometimes the best defense is a good offense in any sport. You can't win a game strictly with defense. You got to put points on the board. That sword helps us put points on the board as men. Um, but sometimes we got to put it down. And I didn't put my sword down yesterday. I didn't put it down today, honestly. Now today there's some extenuating circumstances that I don't need to bore y'all with. So, but I will say, what I will say is that in how I chose to handle things, I didn't burn myself out more today like I could have. I still managed to prioritize myself better today than I did yesterday. Everything down to, you know what I'm saying? My baldy right now. Like, if you saw me earlier today, I had hair. um, but I wanted to come looking clean on the pod. You know what they say, you look good, you feel good. Um, I look better with the baldy. Let's just be honest. You know what I mean? I don't really like the sunroof. I don't really like sunroof vibes. So I said no. I'm doing this episode. It's the first episode since 100. Let's get it clean. You know what I'm saying? Um, I made sure I ate before I got on. Normally, I know I got a pod. A lot of times I won't eat before I get on because I want to make sure that I'm doing better with my time, getting on time. Um, you know, I ain't want food to be in my teeth. I ain't want to stain the shirt. Uh, all types of stuff that I typically don't. Why, like I said, I typically don't eat before I start. But there's actually, it would have been the best strategy for me to go ahead and cook a little something um before I started potting, so that uh I could eat a little bit more after I finished potting. And no, I didn't want you to see my George Jefferson. I did not. Okay. Um and so I automatically have lunch tomorrow, right? Save me a couple of dollars. But like, that was also to serve other people in the house. That way, wife got lunch for tomorrow. She not feeling well, so if I do this, then and if I do that, then if I do this and do that, like, I wanted to pot tonight. I do the pod for the lifers, but I also do it for me. So, no, I'm not gonna cook. I'm actually gonna go shave and shower. I want to look better. I want to feel better. I'm gonna go shave and shower. The time I could have used to do a bunch of other stuff that would serve other people in the house. Nah, not right now. So it's small. It's not a big deal. But I put my sword down for just a second. I put my shield down for just, 12, 15 minutes, 20 minutes max. I put my sword and my shield down to do something for me. Um, and I'm gonna do that after I get off this pod too. I'm gonna go shoot people on YouTube. Don't demonetize me. I'm talking about Black Ops 7. talking about talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Okay. Uh, don't I ain't even get monetized for y'all to demonetize me, man. Don't push my video any further down in the algorithm than y'all already do. I'm strictly talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 7. All right. And I'm gonna use my experience point tokens. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna have some fun, just some fun, just some mindless fun. And I worry about lunch tomorrow. Those are things we kind of got to do, right? To an extent, it seems irresponsible when we're so busy trying to get everything on point. But like honestly, if you don't have enough time for you, but you have enough time for everything else, what good does it do for me to do for everybody else? And I stroke. Pause. I have a stroke. I have a heart attack. I have an aneurysm. What good am I to my family then? Now I'm a bill, first and foremost. Now I'm a bill. I'm taking away from money we don't have, and I'm going to take their time, resources, and energy. Now I'm weighing them down instead of holding them up. And I urge my brothers, please, whatever it is you have to do. Me and Q talked about it on episode 216 of the Mr. Know It All podcast. I think he dropped part two by now. I know he dropped part one earlier this week. And if you subscribe, I believe it is $7 a month for his Patreon. Pay that $7, you could got you get the whole episode in its entirety on top of all the other Patreon conversations that have gone on. Shout out to Mr. Know It All. I think he also the Vibrations show podcast. Shout out to them. I think their episode with him as a guest also dropped today. So you know what I mean. Shout out to Mr. Know It All. Shout out to Vibrations podcast. You know what I mean. Y'all like that? I did that promo. You like how I did that promo? Make sure to tell them I looked out for them. Okay. Um, but he just dropped that clip earlier this week of me and him talking about, you know, it not being selfish, how it's not selfish to have pockets of happiness. And those pockets of happiness have to do with you. Like I said this to men there, I'm gonna say it here. Those pockets of happiness have to deal with you and you specifically. Okay. It's not about you making your wife happy. It's not about you making the kids happy. Those things do make us happy for real, for real. Like just keeping it as that, right? But that's also part of the illusion. That's also part of the lie that that's the only way we get to be happy is if they're happy and we've made them happy, then we can find time for ourselves to be happy. No, it's bogus. Um, Listen, the best generals still have soldiers. At some point, you gotta decide to trust that the mission won't fail because you choose yourself. Facts. 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 A real leader has to be able to depend on the people he's leading. Otherwise, you gotta know your ass as a leader. If you gotta do everything yourself and you got a team, either you ain't got a team or you're just a poor leader. You know that's the truth. The point in being a good leader is that you're building up people to be capable to carry things through. So you gotta let them do it. Um, Good point. Good point, Tommy. Um, I'm about to wrap this up. Like I said, I was gonna be vulnerable with y'all. I'm gonna give y'all one last thing that I haven't spoken on because Uh, I just wasn't ready to talk about it earlier this year, but I just mentioned it to some homies. I went to go kick it with them. They wanted to have a Monday night football night at the crib. I've been very vocal about my not supporting the Cowboys this season, but also just my taking a break from football altogether. Um, I also mentioned it with Keith. I told Keith and Taya, Keith, aka Mr. Know It All, and Taya when I was recording with them a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago. Um, but now I'll probably clip this so y'all can, so people can have it for context. As much as it's easy for y'all to get y'all jokes off that, oh, well, I'm not watching this season because the Eagles won the Super Bowl and the Cowboys are ass. No, no, no. I wasn't supporting the Cowboys because Jerry Jones keeps the Cowboys ass. Um, so I wasn't going to be a Cowboys fan this season, even if I did watch. I'm not watching football this season, and I don't know, honestly, if I'll ever quite get back to it. Because football is too closely tied into a personal tragedy that my family and I have suffered this year. Uh, and I also want to take the time out to say, John, what's good, bro? What's good, bro? When you get a chance, go back and watch this stuff. And if it applies to you, bro, please, please take heed, bro. But shout out to Brother John from Sports for You podcast out on the left coast, man. My West Coast brethren and sisters over there. Appreciate the consistent support. I look forward to the day where we could come out there and do a live show, man. You know what I'm saying? Once we get more successful and get that budget together. I look forward to it, bro. Appreciate y'all your support. Hey man, y'all see him posting that stuff in the Lifeline too? You know what I'm saying? If you a wrestling fan, tap in with it. If you a sports fan, tap in with it. If you know somebody who is, share it for them. You know what I'm saying? Stop acting like you don't see my man post. Um, but as I was saying, I ain't dealing with football at all this year. And I know normally, actually, speaking of sports for you, I would have already been on at this point in the season. I would have been on their show either to do the, preseason stuff, like, how we expect the season to go and all that kind of stuff, the draft, any of that kind of thing. You know what I mean? They always extend an invite for me and the other guys and even the other girls from Podcast Link Philly to come on. So I would have done it like I did last year. It's always a pleasure rocking with those guys. But like I said, football itself is too close to a personal tragedy that I suffered earlier this year. Um, the same night of the Super Bowl. So bad enough I'm a Cowboys fan and the Eagles win, right? Ugh. Bad enough my youngest son has been brainwashed since daycare to become an Eagles fan. So, out of love and care for him, I let him watch it. Um, but that same night, my little cousin Aiden Johnson decided to take his own life. We don't know why. There wasn't a message left. There wasn't even from my own son, who that's like his brother. I mean, technically he's his cousin, but you might as well say that's his brother. They were that close. Y'all know that was kind of relations. You know what I'm saying? If on the family tree it's cousin, but to everybody else that's your bro. Um, and it definitely was more like nephew. As much time as he's spent here overnights, we do family functions with just us, and he comes. It's just the way it's been. Part of me and all this moving around stuff. It's my coping mechanism for. Uh, it's my coping mechanism for talking about something that's heavy. Um, but yeah, he took his own life the same night, like about an hour or so after the Super Bowl. So I'm not I'm not going as far as to blame the Super Bowl on why my little cousin is no longer here. All I'm saying to you is that that's the mental and emotional backlash for me that because those happened in that close space of time, um, is it's just too hard for me to separate the two. Um, I'm not gonna lie. It's just been too hard for me to separate the two. So rather than be triggered and get emotional, I just pass. I'll pass. You know, it's no fuck the Eagle stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Rivals is rivals. So it's always fuck the other side. Uh, I ain't gonna change. I don't care if I ain't got no team to root for. It's always gonna be fucked up. Fuck all y'all. Yeah, been living in Philly for a long time, and that's the energy still. Yeah, if you know me, you know that's how I'm bumming. You heard? But the reason why I wanted to share that is because initially I really did want to say out loud at the show that I was dedicating the show to Aiden and to his dad, Terrence, my cousin T, um, because you know, in losing Aiden the way we lost Aiden, we kind of lost T too. Like he's still here, he's still alive, he's still present, but something like that changes you, man. So our dealings, our interactions, uh, have changed a lot, and it's nothing, malicious or anything, but we don't even see each other as often. And when you get that close with somebody, you feel the differences. Like you miss that person. Your conversations is not the same. You worried about them, he worried about you. Um, and just as men, you know what I'm saying? Like when somebody's like emotionally, damaged in that fashion, like you don't know what you could do to help. You want to be there for them, but they don't know how to let you in. They don't know how to let you be there for them. So you just, you give them their time, you give them their space, and just, whenever they call, you just make yourself available. Um, Matter of fact, because us black men do have the highest rates of self deletion, and I just mentioned it. Let me be intentional while I have y'all attention, um, and let y'all know that you can. Let me see if I can put this on the screen for y'all. If any of my brothers out there are struggling with those kind of thoughts, um, you can get your phone and dial 998. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Um, I'm so sorry. It's 988. I knew that didn't sound right. 988. Dial the hotline, get you help. If you can't reach out, none of your friends is calling. If none of your family members is picking up, dial 988. You can even text it, and somebody will reach out to you. Okay, that is for the suicide and crisis lifeline. Um, Meantime, between time, if y'all feeling away and y'all need to talk to somebody, I'm not the most knowledgeable person or trained person when it comes to comforting somebody. I don't know what to say to somebody who is wanting to end it all, but I promise you, I'm gonna figure it out. If I don't do nothing but just sit there and listen to you talk, call me, man. Just call me. I'd rather us have awkward silence than for you to be silent forever. Ty always gets on, us men about suffering in silence, and I just don't want y'all to do that no more, bro. Um, like Misha always said, even before the brother said it in the clip, we got to start pouring out from our overflow. We got to take care of ourselves so that we can pour out of our overflow. He even used the example of the gas mask, the air mask, right? When you're on the plane, and the plane starts going down and they drop down, they always tell you, you got to put the mask on yourself, then put the mask on it because the air pressure is going to knock you out. So while you sit here trying to play hero and you put somebody else's air mask on, you might not even be awake long enough. So you might can't help them. So you put your own air mask on so that way you can tend to other people and help other people. And that's what it is in life. Help yourself so that you can be here for the people you love. Send this to me when you see me on some bullshit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Clip it and send it to me and remind me if you see me going too far from the path and not doing well enough for myself. I'm willing to be held accountable. I have friends who, like I said in the last episode, reach out to me about rest and holding myself accountable about that. Um, but honestly, if any of y'all are dealing with thoughts of self deletion, thoughts that the world would be better here, would be better without you here, people who struggle with finances and start looking at their insurance and being like, I'm more, I'm more uh, valuable to my family as a check in my death than my presence in life. Don't believe none of that. Don't believe none of that. Don't listen to those voices whatsoever. Call me, call the hotline, call somebody, and stick around. Stick around, man. Everybody here has a part to play in life, no matter how bad it is. And it could get really bad. Don't let me underestimate. But stick here, man. Your story is valuable. Your presence is it's invaluable. Okay, you can't even put a price on it. And the lives that you can impact, you'll never even know. All right, but clearly my second laptop is about to die. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Once again, thank y'all for joining me tonight, man. On behalf of A.C.E, my brother who we always be, on behalf of Keish with the Cakes, the sponsor of the Life Be Lifing and Two Kings 205 podcast, as well as the owner of Simply the Shea Catering, who will also be at the live show on November 29th. Podcast Link Philly. That is next Saturday night. Doors open at 6. All right. We're going to be out in the Northeast. That is at EDE Studios, 1890 Woodhaven Road, Philadelphia, PA. Tickets $30. Get it from the link in my bio. Get it from the link tree. I hope to see as many of y'all there as possible. As I always say, be smart, be respectful, be patient. That includes with yourself. Be kind to as many people as you possibly can. Again, if you're having those thoughts, dial 988. This is part of being kind to yourself. Okay? Like I said, it's going to be kind to as many people as you possibly can. I know some people going to make that impossible, but take the time out to be kind to yourself. I'm going to flash it one more time. This is part of being kind to yourself because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. Fill it up, let it overflow, and let the overflow be how you bless others. I love y'all. Man, let's do better so that we can be better. All right.